Part 1. The Old House by the Lake. My name is Anna. I was 20 when my life changed forever. It began in autumn, when the air smelled of rain and the trees turned gold. That evening, I walked alone to the old house by the lake. People in town said it was haunted. They said no one should go there at night, but I was not afraid. I loved the quiet water, the dark woods, and the soft wind. The house looked broken. The windows were black like empty eyes. The door made a long, sad sound when I touched it. Inside, the floor was cold, and dust floated in the air like tiny ghosts. I don't know why, but I felt I should not leave. Something in that place was calling me. Then I heard it. A voice. A soft, deep voice. "Why are you here?" My heart jumped. The sound came from the shadows. I wanted to run, but my legs did not move. And then I saw him. A young man stood near the stairs. His face was pale, his eyes dark like the lake at midnight. He was handsome, but there was sadness in him, heavy like stone. "I am sorry," I whispered. "I didn't mean to disturb you." He looked at me for a long moment, and then he smiled. A strange, sad smile. "No one comes here," he said. "No one except you." I didn't know it yet, but that night was the beginning of a love that would burn through light and darkness, through life and death. Part 2. His Name. The silence in the old house pressed on me. The lake outside was dark, the moon hiding behind clouds. I stood near the broken wall, my breath slow, my heart fast. The young man still looked at me, his eyes full of something I could not understand. Finally, I found the courage to speak. "Who are you?" I asked. He moved closer. His steps were almost silent, as if he touched the floor, but did not truly walk on it. When the light of the moon reached his face, I saw how pale he was. Too pale, like someone who had not seen the sun for many years. "My name is Daniel," he said softly. His voice was calm, but there was pain inside it. "And you?" "Anna," I whispered. He repeated my name slowly, like he wanted to taste it, to keep it. Anna. For a moment, the house didn't feel so empty anymore. But then a cold wind passed through the room, even though the windows were closed. It touched my skin like ice. I shivered. Daniel looked at me with sad eyes. "You should not be here at night," he said. "This house, it remembers things. Dark things." His words made me feel both afraid and curious. "And you? Why are you here?" He didn't answer at once. He turned his face away as if he carried a secret too heavy to tell. Then he said very quietly, "Because I cannot leave." Those words stayed in my mind like a shadow. I wanted to ask more, but the sound of water suddenly echoed through the hall. Drip, drip, drip. It was not rain. It was like water falling from the ceiling, though the roof above us was dry. The sound grew louder until it felt like the house itself was crying. Daniel closed his eyes. "It begins again," he whispered. The floor under my feet trembled. I gasped, trying not to fall. From the far end of the hall, I heard a faint sobbing, like a woman crying in the dark. The sound grew closer, step by step, though I saw no one. My fear grew heavy, but Daniel's voice was calm. "Do not listen. Do not answer her." "Who is she?" I asked, my voice shaking. But he only looked at me with eyes full of sorrow. The sobbing was now near the stairs. The shadows there grew deeper, like a hole in the world. For 1 second, I thought I saw a hand reaching out, thin and white, like it was made of smoke. I couldn't breathe. Daniel stepped between me and the darkness. His body seemed fragile, but his presence was strong. He raised his hand as if to stop something invisible, and the sobbing stopped, just like that. Silence returned, heavy and endless. I touched his arm without thinking. His skin was cold, colder than ice. I pulled my hand back, shocked. "Daniel," I whispered, "what are you?" He looked at me, and in his sad smile, I saw the truth I did not want to believe. "I am not alive, Anna," he said softly. "Not anymore." The room seemed to grow colder after his words, but inside my chest, something strange happened. I was not only afraid, I also felt a deep pull toward him, as if my heart had already chosen him, even if he belonged to another world. Part 3. The Truth. I stood frozen in the dark hall. His words echoed in my head. "I am not alive." Daniel's eyes were calm, but behind them I saw endless pain. I wanted to run, yet something kept me near him. My heart beat fast, not only with fear, but also with a strange longing. "How can this be?" I whispered. He looked down, his pale hands trembling. "Long ago, this house was my home. I lived here, and I died here. The walls keep me. The lake keeps me. I cannot leave." The silence after his words was heavy, like a stone on my chest. But then he stepped closer. "You are the first person who has ever seen me, the first who speaks to me." "Why you, Anna? Why now?" I had no answer, only the soft sound of the lake outside, like slow breathing in the night. And in that stillness, I realized something impossible. I did not want to leave him. Part 4. The Lake's Secret. The night outside grew colder, and the sound of the water came stronger, like the lake wanted me to listen. Daniel stood near the window, his figure half in shadow, half in pale moonlight. He looked almost human, almost alive, but his eyes carried the weight of years, of silence and sorrow. I wanted to speak, but the words were hard to find. Finally, I whispered, "Why can you not leave this place?" He turned his head slowly, his dark eyes meeting mine. "Because my soul is tied to the lake, to her." "Her?" I asked softly. Daniel's lips trembled, but he did not smile. He walked to the window, his hand resting on the broken frame. His fingers were so pale, so thin, that they almost looked like smoke. "Long ago," he began, his voice quiet, "I loved a girl. Her name was Eliza. She lived in this house with me. We were young. We dreamed of the future, of life together. But the lake took her. One autumn night, she went into the water and never returned." The silence was heavy after his words. I could almost hear the memory in the air, the sound of water, the echo of a girl's laugh, lost forever. Daniel closed his eyes. "I followed her. I thought the lake would let me see her again, but it was a lie. I drowned, and now I remain here, half in this world, half in the next, waiting." I felt my chest tighten. His story was like a knife, sharp and deep. I could see the pain in him, the love that had never ended, even in death. "Daniel," I whispered, "that's why the woman cries in the dark?" He nodded slowly. "Yes, the sound you heard, it is her, or maybe only her shadow. She calls, but she is never truly here. I hear her every night, and every night I cannot reach her." His voice broke on the last words. For the first time, I saw tears in his eyes. Not warm human tears, but silver drops that shone like pieces of moonlight. They fell down his pale face and disappeared before touching the floor. I wanted to reach for him, to hold him, but fear stopped me. Fear of what he was, fear of what I was becoming. Because inside me something was changing. I should have run. I should have left the house, left the ghost, left the sadness. But instead, I stepped closer. My hand touched his arm again. Cold burned my skin, but I didn't pull away. "You are not alone anymore," I said. "I am here." Daniel looked at me with wide, dark eyes. For the first time, his sadness seemed lighter, like a cloud moving away from the moon. He breathed a word so soft I almost did not hear it. Anna! Outside, the wind grew stronger, rushing through the trees, making the lake roar like a living thing. The whole house shook. The shadows on the stairs deepened again, and the sound of the crying woman returned, louder than before. Daniel turned quickly, his face pale with fear. She is restless tonight, more than ever. The sobbing grew closer, like footsteps on the floor. The shadows spread across the hall, long fingers reaching for us. Daniel took my hand. His was icy but strong. "Do not let go," he whispered. "Whatever happens, stay with me." My heart was racing. My skin was cold. But I held on to him. Because even though he was dead, even though this house was full of fear, I knew one thing. I could not leave him. Not now. Not ever. Part 5. Bo, the cry. The sound filled the house again. It was no longer soft weeping, but sharp, like glass breaking inside my ears. I pressed closer to Daniel, my hand tight in his. "She wants me," he whispered. "She always wants me." The shadows on the stairs moved like black water, spreading toward us. I thought I saw her face for a moment, pale, with empty eyes, her mouth open in a silent scream. I wanted to scream too, but Daniel's grip kept me still. His eyes were full of sorrow, but also of strength. "She is not alive," he said firmly. "She is only pain. Do not answer her." The voice grew louder, calling his name. "Daniel? Daniel?" I closed my eyes. My heart was beating too fast. But then I felt Daniel's cold hand, holding me steady like an anchor. And slowly, the voice faded into silence. Part 6. The Promise. The house was quiet again. The shadows hid, the crying was gone, some. Only the lake moved outside, dark and endless. Daniel let go of my hand slowly, but his eyes stayed on me. "You should leave," he said softly. "This place is not safe." I shook my head. My voice was low but sure. "I will come back." For the first time he smiled without sorrow. A small, fragile smile. And in that moment, I knew our story was only beginning.